Flosstube is about to start, and I have to tell you something before you get into the Flosstube. It's a warning. It's a jump scare warning. And I'm so sorry, and I cannot figure out a way to edit it out without being even more choppy than I normally am. But in this lower corner back here is in fact my grandmother's headless doll. Naked. And it's creepy. And every time I come in my sewing room and I shut the door, I see her and it scares me. And while I was editing this video, she pops out, like, or she doesn't pop out. She's shown a couple of times when I reach for something. My apologies. I need to find a doll hospital for her. She's a precious family heirloom. She'll scare the crap right out of you. So as you're watching, just a couple times, if I move this way, just be aware the doll might show. I'm so sorry. Please keep your eyes on the beautiful quilt that I have in fact finished since the last time we spoke, and I don't mention it all during my Flosstube. I'm really sorry. She is creepy. Be warned. Love you. Bye. Hello, Flosstube. Welcome. My name is Teresa. This is the Garden Goose Stitcher Flosstube. Episode 50. It is September 26th. If you're new, welcome. You should know that you should never count on whatever date I say it is, because I'm often wrong. But if you're returning, you already knew that. And I missed you, and it's been a minute since I checked in. I was super busy at the end of August when I intended to check in, and here I am. But school started. The garden was really putting me to work every day. And so I had to manage my priorities. So here I am, September 26th, allegedly, checking in with my Flosstube. I last checked in, I think, the last day of July, or close to it, and I have been stitching every day. I went on cousin camp, so there's that. I went on 2 retreats, back to back, and then there was an in-betwixt friend trip, and so there's been a lot of things going on. My son is a senior, so I could cry at any moment. I don't want to talk about it. And so there's that. My husband's on a work trip right now, so this Flosstube, I'll get to use my normal voice. And I'll tell you something funny, and I thought it was sweet. The past Flosstube, maybe the one before that, I don't remember. Somebody reached out and asked, "Are you doing okay? You seem kind of subject." Well, people are, it's just they're sleeping. They're sleeping. Oh, I think maybe that time Nate had been sleeping. I was trying to get it done. But now my husband is a day sleeper, and so now I feel like I have to talk at a more reasonable volume. But if you've ever met me IRL, you know that I sometimes maybe talk too much and maybe talk too loud. I don't know. So anyway, I'm glad to be back and speaking at a normal volume. But anyway, I have a lot to show you. So I don't know what stories I'll end up telling you. You never can tell around here. But I have some stitching to show. I haven't been stitching a lot, but I've been stitching pretty much every day. I think since I've seen you, I think I've only missed 1 stitchy day. In one of my little friend chat groups, somebody said, "Oh, I've missed 34 days of stitching this year so far," you know, using her book of days or her stitchy planner. And I went and looked. Where's my book of days? And you know, this is really great for keeping track. And I have missed, I think before this month, I had missed 3 days. So total, I missed 4 days of stitching this year. Like, I've stitched every day. So the other week, was that last week? The day that we traveled, I did not get a single stitch in. Oh wait, did I stitch on the airplane? No, I can't remember. Listen, no, I did not. You know why? Because I was seated in an emergency exit row on this really big plane, and like I couldn't even reach my bag. And like the tray comes up and over, so I was like, I'm not trying to stitch on that because, you know, anyway. So basically, what I was saying is, since I've seen you, I've stitched every day but one. but just not a lot. But like every day, just a little bit. So, so if you've been here before, you know that this calendar year, I have been attempting, and if you would have asked me in March if I was attempting this or doing it, I would have said I'm doing it. But now I'm saying I've been attempting to clean up the several series that I have in limbo. I have 4 series that I've been focusing on this year. Some of them needed 4, some of them needed 6 of them stitched. And so when there are 12-month series, I had big gaps, and there's always the summertime, always June, July, August, or September, I swear. And so in March, I felt real great. Here in September, looking at what I got left, I've just been doing my best. So we're going to go over my series stitching right now, and then, prayers would be lovely. I just need to focus, and probably once there's less going on outside, I'll be able to focus more. So there's that. Just the other day, this has been my ABC stitching for a while. This is from Lori Holt's pattern, and it is Flea Market Baskets. It was a quilt and a cross stitch inspired by it. I'm assuming the quilts come first when it comes to Lori Holt. The cross stitch is inspired by the quilt, and it's a medallion quilt, so each layer builds out a different thing. And so this is the center of that medallion for the cross stitch. It had baskets, and flowers, I don't know, I can't really remember, it was a long time ago. And then Fat Quarter Shop took the center star and recolored it so you could stitch 12 of them like monthly, and then you'd have a monthly little thing. I have it finished in a little, anyway. This one is September, so I think I have 2 left. I think I needed to stitch 6 of these at the beginning of the year, and I have 2 left, so I've stitched 4. It's my ABC stitch. I really don't focus on it very much. It's always like in my purse or in my car, and I took it on the airplane, and I got some stitching in. But so September's done. Okay, another one of the series that I've been stitching is Country Cottage Needleworks. This is the sampler of the month. I signed up for this sale back when they were mailing it each month, and here I am in 2025. This was July. This was my ABC stitch for a while, and I got that finished. I don't remember where I took this or what I was doing. Probably, we go to family stuff a lot of birthday parties. I'm going to tell you, if you think it's rude that I'm sitting at a birthday party stitching, you'd be wrong, because my stepsister Lorraine has such bad attention deficit or whatever. Like, she can't sit still. She brings a book. We got a lot of birthdays. Anyway, so I got July done. I think I have to do August still. I think I have to do September still. And I think I might have one more after that. Maybe this one I had 6 of. I don't know, but I've been doing my best. Oh, the other really big series that I've been doing is Prairie Schooler. Hey, can I take a minute for a second? I wanted to say something. Hold on. So do you know that if you're a Michigander, you may or may not have met Cindy? And I met her at a Davison cross stitch retreat, and I don't know, one time I went down to Utica area and stitched with that group that meets down there, the Anchor Bay Stitchers. I met with them a couple times. But Cindy was a huge Prairie Schooler fan. She had the best collection. And one time she let me go through it because she had a whole bunch of duplicates, and I got to glean her duplicates. But she passed away a couple weeks ago. Maybe a month ago. And I just have been so saddened by it. And I've been thinking about her sister Julie, and it's just really sad. She was so kind. So kind. And I think the last thing she texted me, it was like a week before she passed away. The last thing she texted me was, "I'll see you on Flosstube." And I just thought that, I don't know. I've just been praying for Julie. I can't imagine losing my sister. Nonetheless, a twin sister. And she was just so kind. So kind. And if you knew her, you knew that. But anyway, so I think like every time I stitch a prairie schooler, I think she'll always come to mind. And that time that she let me go through her, I probably even told about it on this Flosstube. Also, when I first met Julie and Cindy, I don't think they watched any Flosstube. And then I was like, what are you waiting for? But that time that I went to go out and stitch with them one time, and she brought her prairie schooler collection, and she had a lot of duplicates in there. And I said, I was a little firm. I said, I'm not leaving here until you download the X-Stitch app. I know it's $4, or what, I think it is $4. Is it $9, the one that you can have pictures on? And $4 is the one I have. And I said, I'm not leaving here till you get that app. You've got to stop buying duplicates. But anyway. So anyway, that's been said. So I was working on this last time I checked in, and the big one. I think at the beginning of the year, I can't remember how many I had of these. Well, last time I checked in, I had July and August left to do. And here I go. So July, I think I just had the water done. The roof needed to be filled in. All this needed to be stitched. And I got it done. This is on a mystery fabric. Hey, let me tell you about what I'm stitching on. This is the fabric that whatever Fat Quarter Shop mailed, this is what it was. I don't even think it was the called for. I kind of think they had to substitute something, but I might be wrong. But this is whatever was called for. This is a scrap. Lord only knows. Okay, I'm going to try to tell you about the fabric. This is also a mystery. This has got to be a fiber on a whim. It's super soft, and I love the feel of fiber on a whim fabric. It's obviously a 16 count. It's a little bit smaller than some. When I originally started this series, I was stitching them on 14 count. A lot of them were little Charles Craft packages that I bought at a thrift store. They had a big bag full. And some of them I did the antiquing spray or, whatever. But otherwise, it's been a great fun thing to use up those cheap little thrift store score that I got. Did I say that right? Thrift store score. I still didn't sound right. Oh my goodness, hold on. Ugh. Anyway, okay, so this has got to be like a vanilla or something. It's super soft, and I finished it up. I really love it. Really love it. I have August left to do, and guess what? It is in my new starts. Okay, so I did want to say that I had, after my Flosstube, when I lost this project, while this was uploading, I went and I looked through every one of my project bags that I kitted things up for my patriotic stitching for the next year and a half, and I found this guy. I just want to let you know it exists. And also, isn't this fabric fantastic? Do you think it's wheat? Oh no. Buttermilk. Fiber on a whim buttermilk. And I sure do like it. I still need to get the wispy stuff, the whisker stuff, to put in his beard to make it a little bit funner. But I found it. I have never before misplaced something that badly. I was really concerned. So anyway, also I had been stitching this. This is on 16 count Aqua Fresca by Grace Notes, and this is Plum Street Tomato Hill. I had been stitching this, and I don't remember if I showed it last time. I just needed something, a break in between, probably series stitching, and so I stitched on this guy, and I switched out, I think it was a cat or a dog. Was it a mouse? I can't remember, but I switched it out for a goose. I found a freebie somewhere that had a little goose on it, and I just kind of stuck it in there, and it worked out pretty well. And I love this. Love it on the blue, too. I think I was in the depths of tomato season, and I thought, I just want to stitch that. Also, if I keep a bushel basket of tomatoes on the porch well, see, this is my problem. What a mini. I have big bushel baskets, and I'll pick a whole thing of tomatoes. And then if I bring them in, our Cocker Spaniel buddy, He'll eat them. He'll just sit there and mount on those tomatoes. So then if we leave them on the front porch for a minute, well, until I'm ready to cook them or put them away, then if the gate's open, the geese will come in and eat them. So, there's always something. When we have been, okay, I'm going to tell you, do you know, since I saw you, we processed some turkeys. Did I tell you last time that we had turkeys for the freezer? We bought 6 white turkeys at the beginning of the year, the beginning of the spring, middle of spring. I don't remember, guys. But we got 6 because we wanted 2. But turkeys have a thing about just like croaking for no reason. Honestly, I just had a lengthy talk with somebody in Stitch, Florida about how turkeys just be dying on you for no reason. It's really, we're really curious. And so we bought 6 turkeys, expecting to lose almost all of them, as in years past. However, all of them survived. So then we had 6 giant turkeys, and they're just plowing through the food like crazy. And also, we did know we wanted to put them in the freezer. The first time we ever did turkeys, we waited a little bit too long, and they got to be like 22 pounders, and nobody wants to cook that. I'd rather take a 12 pounder. I'd rather cook 2 12 pounders than to cook a 22 or 23 pounder. So we were trying to watch it. So I think we got, they're all between 12 and 14. So we put 4 of them in the freezer, and we kept 2. A male and a female. Also, one time, I must have talked about turkeys on this Flosstube, and I'm going to go back and find that comment, but you know who you are. You're the one who did. Oh. Listen, I wish I knew who it was right now so I could call you out and tell you how much you made me laugh and how many times I told this story. When I was first talking about the turkeys that we have, I said something like, what's a group of turkeys called? And somebody in my comment section called it a Congress. She said a group of turkeys is called Congress. And I thought that was legitimate. There is a Congress of something else. A Congress of, I don't remember what they are. There is an animal in the world that when there's a group of them, it's called a Congress. Is it baboons? I don't know. Anyway, so I thought, oh, that's cool. And it was a joke. I'm assuming it was a political joke. Because then I would told like 3 people that were going to take care. Oh. Anyway, a group of turkeys is called a rafter. FYI. Oh, but I'm going to tell you how many people I told I referred to our Congress of turkeys. And then when I Googled it for some reason, I found out they're called raptor. Then I had to explain how dumb I was. Okay. Anyway, so we kept a male and a female, a hen and a tom. And my husband, they're just like his friends. He just loves the turkeys so much. In fact, at cousin camp, if you follow my cousin, my farming cousin, Grange Returns on Instagram, she has a farm account, and so she does really fun reels. I don't know, she's like a professional or something. And at cousin camp, David and her husband, Frank, were talking about their turkey friends. And then Erin ended up doing a reel of her husband telling her that we're not killing the turkey. We're not putting the turkeys in the freezer. They're his friends. They're his only friends. And I laughed so hard because Dave says that all the time. And Dave and Frank together were like, yeah, they're my friends. They're so friendly. They come right up to me. They're the only ones who love me. Oh, anyway. Oh, gosh. Whew. Anyway. But David named the turkeys. This is all this to say, David named the turkeys Fred and Ginger, which is very curious because Ginger Rogers was like his grandpa's cousin. Did you know her name was Virginia McMath, Ginger Rogers? Her name was Virginia McMath, and there's like pictures of her at a family reunion once or stuff. I don't know. Anyway, moving on for the love. Okay, my last finished. Yeah, bro. This is the last one. This is Sampler Bird Stitchery, A Tribute to Friendship. This came up as my whip go, and I pulled it out, and I sure did love stitching on it so much. And then I ran out of floss. I ran out of this cypress, and I didn't have any. And then I knew I was going to retreat in September, and I thought, well, I can order some, pay shipping, or I can just pick it up when I go to Chantel's and then finish it at the retreat, and then ring the finishing bell and get to celebrate with friends. So I did that. So I indeed took this to the pep rally, went and bought a skein of cypress, finished up stitching it. Now this is on a 16 count. Do I know what this is? I don't, but I sure do love it. It's obviously a fiber on a whim. Is this wheat? Do you ever wonder if every single time I pick up a mystery fabric, I ask, is this wheat? Seems to me like I maybe do. But it's a 16 count, and there is some 1/1 on this. And so I ended up, I was pulling out an alphabet book. Is it Jean Farish's alphabet book? I was getting ready for cross stitch class for my niece. My niece Charlotte has taken up cross stitch. Her mom is requiring it as a subject in their homeschool. And so, which is big fun for me because I'm not needed, obviously. That kid's a senior and he goes away for most of the day. Anyway, and I had pulled out that book to take with me to cross stitch class, and I was like, oh, maybe I can find an alphabet that would squeeze in there, you know, but I ended up using straight stitches. But I put my grandma Hoisington's name in there. Her name is Betty Lou. And then I put her birth year and her death year. So, and I feel like I had just been to my dad's side of the family's family picnic. They have a family picnic every August. And so it was big fun in August because one weekend my mom's family had we had our cousin camp. And then the next weekend I went to my dad's family's picnic. So it was very, very lovely to catch up with people. Anyway, I love this cross stitch pattern so much. I'm so excited to frame this. And someday I'd love to have a heritage wall. A year ago, I couldn't tell you, maybe 2 years ago, I stitched one of Annie, the Proper Stitchers samplers, and I think it was Frances Grayson. Is that real? Anyway, I think I'm going to take out the name on that and put one of my relatives in there someday because it hasn't been finished. Surprise, surprise. So, that is a done. And it was a Whip Go goal met. Now, new starts. Boy, I have been so scattered. So scattered. I don't know. Just doing my best. Also, I'm not going to overanalyze it or worry about it because stitching is stitching. It's supposed to be fun. Since I've seen you, I've stitched 2, and also I did not bring one of the patterns. So, this was September's Anniversaries of the Heart by Blackbird Design. And last month was Clara Ellen, I think, which was convenient because I decided to put my great-grandmother in there, and her name was Clara. And so it made it real easy. Okay, so these two are August and September. Last time we checked in, I had just stitched this much of July, and I want to do other stuff. I did stitch quite a bit of August. It had those eyelet stitches along the border. I am off a little bit somewhere, like a half a stitch. And I've checked every single one, and I can't figure it out. So, I've just been... I think this month when I started, I used this block as a landmark to get me to my next block. This one is super pretty. This was only a couple of days, like 2 days of stitching. It was just, I was just flying through it because I loved it so much. Ugh. So, I've been working on, this is enough for this month. I'll come back next year and I'll fill them in. I think next year is going to be the year of my whip. I don't need to start nothing new because I have a lot of whips I've accumulated this year. This is on 28 count de Bloom. Every single month I show it. Oh, it is wrinkly. I forget to tell you. 28 count. It's a big one. It's a big one. I have to tell you, I really, really love this project. And I probably talk about it and maybe I sound overwhelmed, but I'm enjoying it so much. So, just FYI. Okay, another new start. Let's see. Oh. Well, at the retreat, when I went to the pep rally, the guest designer was Robin Pickens, and my table was so fun. So fun. I sat with the two girls from Lost Our Needles, Allie and her mom, Amy. They used to live in Michigan, and they are so much fun. And we had a Michigan-themed thing. I made these bags as my table mate gifts. And I thought it would be so fun, especially because they were coming back to Michigan. But also, did you know that Robin Pickens used to live in Michigan? And I ended up giving like a Michigan-themed gift. So I gave them a pattern. I'll show you in a second. And I gave fabric from a Michigan dyer, like fabric dyer. And so, but I took my seasonal career. This is the fall. I hadn't started it yet. And this time, I changed the colors a little bit. I wanted them to be a little less bright because I feel like that suits my home a little bit better. So I darkened up some of the flosses just a little bit. So this is just like one part of the day stitching on it, and then I probably switched up because, you know, squirrely. This is a Fiber on a Whim Gray Spinal. I have never said that word in my whole life. It's a 28 count Lugana. It's beautiful. And Robin Pickens is so amazing. She is such a lovely human. Oh, so at my table, my friend Missy from Maine, Andrea from Ohio, and Tammy from Georgia, they sat at my table, and it was quite a fun table, if I do say so myself. I mean, we're no table 11, but table 6 is pretty fun. Okay, at the retreat, when I was looking for something, well, I wanted to be kind of Michigan themed because I love a theme. And anyway, so I was thinking about it, and I said, oh, I should find a pattern from Teresa Koget that I can gift them. So I went through the shop that's connected to her Patreon. Yeah, there's PDFs in there. So I bought 6 PDFs, and it was and I did not print off my cover page because typically, and I maybe assemble tablemate gifts at the very last minute. And so I was printing off all of it, and then we were out of paper, and then I got paper, and then I came back and I printed off anyway, I did not print myself a cover sheet. And this is how far I got. This is on a Fabrics by Stephanie, who lives in Michigan. And it's a 14 count Fraser's Ridge. I do love doing fall things on a blue, you know. It's very lovely. And I keep it in my keeper. I made this last year. And I think that is the same scarecrow. You wouldn't know because I didn't print out a cover sheet. But I think that might be almost the same guy. And then, so, you know, Teresa Koget lives in Michigan, and then Fabrics by Stephanie is from Michigan, and then the DMC came from France. Is that right? DMC comes from France? Or is it from Italy? I have no idea. You can yell at the TV if you want. I can't hear you. I'm just going to be living in my oblivious life anyway. Okay, so now, random. I did, as soon as I finished July, I think I spent 6 or 7 days with this guy. Very small increments, as you can tell from my progress. This is August. This is on a coffee tea dyed by me. I'm pretty sure this might be a 14 count. It is got all the burn marks on it. Like when I do fabric, it typically does. And I stitched on this for a little bit, but then I needed a break. Oh, I almost put that on the back. And it sure is wrinkly. Did I not use a project bag? But it's going fast, as many 14 counts do. The corn is really cute. It's got all these different fabrics that are floss in it. I'm stitching that cow. So, I need to do the barn and then the words. And the barn looks like no joke. Maybe I'll spend a day with that. I mean, oh, well. Right now, I'm kind of in limbo, you know. I did not pick up my whip go, one of my whip goes for this month. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, so, oh, I had one more new start. I kitted this up and I took it with me. I think I intended to stitch it in Florida. I went to Stitch Florida, and this is Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread. Hickety pickety. And I did not get much done. You know why? Because I talked too much. I talked too much. What is this? This fabric has got to be a coloring cotton. Is that true? Does it have a tag on it? Let's hope for a tag. There's no tag. I wonder what keeper I kept it in. Nope, not that one. You know, sometimes if the tag comes off, I'll put it in the bag. So sometimes I can find it. It's a no. Oh, oh, tea leaves. Coloring cotton tea leaves. Hey, look at us. I got a very, very small start. Okay, so there's that. Very small start. Thought about not even showing you. Thought about it. Okay, on my whips. Whip go. In August, it was Sarah Newman, which I talked to you about last time about how excited I was. And guess what? Sarah Newman got called for October. I just checked the numbers right before I came, and I thought, yes! Love it. I should probably just forego every other stitching plan I have and just stitch on this till it's done. But I'm not. Okay, Sarah Newman, I bought this pattern on a whim, and then I started it because I loved the floss that came in a Coloring Cotton subscription when I was in that. This is this is Sugar Cookie Coloring Cotton Belfast 32 count, and this is Sarah Newman. I'm using Coloring Cotton's Fairy Tale. It was like Fairy Tale Beanstalk. Fritz Goblin. Enchanted. Princess. Fairy Tale. Happily Ever After. Beanstalk. Abyss. Anywho, so I stitched on this for 5 days. It pretty much was just working on these vines. And then I would do a couple strands of the vines, and then I would go do a couple letters. The letters change a lot, so it wasn't, 5 days is 5 days. I'm not stitching a lot. You know, I feel like 5 days in the summer is like an afternoon in the winter. As far as attention span and like sitting down and sticking to it. So I am very excited that this has come up in October. I'm very much looking forward to spending some more time with it. Okay, my whip go for September was Margaret Ferguson. Let's see if I can put a picture right here of it. I have not picked it up yet. However, Margaret Ferguson is on my whip go board twice. And I'm pretty sure this is the first time she's been called. So since I have not got to spend time with her in September, I'm planning to, obviously it'll be November, December. Spend 10 days with her instead of 5. My goal is usually for these bigger projects, 5 days or a finish. Obviously the finish is not a possibility. But my other whip go goal for September was Teresa Coeget, Humble Homestead, and our Humble Homestead. And can I tell you that when I just put in the numbers for October, it had me very excited because I do know that either in November or December, my Fruits of Plenty, What the heck? What is that pattern called? Fruits of Friendship. What the heck? That's not it. Feast of Friendship. Feast of Friendship. Do you ever not be able to think of a word and then you think, well, then I'm not going to do anything until I think of it. Sorry about that. Oh, so anyway, so my Feast of Friendship is left. A Stitch of Series is left. Margaret Ferguson is left. And I can't remember what the other thing is. But basically, it's almost seasonal stitching from here on out. But this was called in September, and I couldn't have been more excited to spend some time with it. And I've got a little bit done. That dress is still no joke. I got the frame figured out, or finished up. I got him stitched all the way, put the smoke in. I was working on the windows at retreat, just because it's easy to fill in. What the heck kind of animal is this? Is it a chicken? The geese are flying. Anyway, and then I got the cat. I still have a little bit of finicky stuff that dress is no joke. But I sure do love this. And I wonder what fabric this is. And guess what I'm going to suggest? Perhaps it's wheat. Perhaps it's wheat. I don't know. But it sure is pretty and I love it. It's obviously a fiber underwear because it's very soft. Okay. So I spent my 5 days. I met my goal. And part of me thinks maybe I should spend the last bit of September finishing that guy up. I would love to get that done. All the way done. And in my house. Okay. So, is that it? That's everything I've stitched. Doesn't it feel scattered? It's 2 months, well, a month and a half-ish. A little bit more than a month and a half. But it doesn't seem like I finished all that much. Feels like I have a lot of things I've just been taking little bites out of. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that I always struggle when I come back from a retreat and I haven't Flosstubed in a while because I have perhaps too much haul. If you hate haul, I'll see you next time. If you like the haul, guess what? I got a lot to show you. So I told you that Robin Pickens was the designer for the Chantel 141 retreat, which was really exciting, and she's so lovely. And so I'm going to show you the kit that they gave us. Of course, Chantel is always so generous. She gave us a sweatshirt. And she always feeds you one meal. It's Shove It Pizza, and it's so good. I love it. But this was the design that Robin Pickens gave us for the retreat. It's called Oakley Acorn. It came with Vintage Country Mocha. I got the 32 count. And then the floss, which is DMC. She uses DMC a lot. Almost. Does she do it exclusively? Perhaps. And then there was an additional pattern. And this guy got a little bit rumpled up in my bag. And this was an extra Colors of Fall. So cool. And then they gave us the finishing board kit, which is not photographed. It is so amazing. Chantel gives you a really good kit. Really good kit. So it's got this acorn wood piece. And it was so pretty. And then some leaves and the fabric. This is Robin Pickens' part of her thatched pattern. Fabric. Thatched. Thatched fabric. It just got little cross hatches. And then there was a shelf sitter. Boy, I said it. Shelf sitter. It's another little acorn. I had in the spring we made a strawberry. We painted it right there. And she gave us the kit like with the binding clips to like smush it together and some glue and a dabber. That's how she paints most everything. Listen, have you ever watched Chantel stuff? She uses those things. So that is what our retreat prize was. I went to the shop and I was very well behaved because I knew I was going to another retreat And, you know, it's not like I ceased shopping in preparation. No, I continued to buy stuff. So there's that. But at the retreat, I picked up Brennan Gervais' Bluebird Out My Window. You know, I love a bird. And I picked up the Scarlet House Little Deeds Sampler. I know there's a big sale going on, and I want to get started on that. I picked up the floss for those two patterns. I think I picked up DMC for the Scarlet House, and I picked up the fancy floss for the Brenna Gervais. But it's always nice to get floss at her place. So I got that. And she had a Atomic Ranch trunk shell, so I got Mirkwood. 28 count. I like it very much. Atomic Ranch is beautiful fabric. And I don't frequent someplace that has that, so it's always nice when there's a trunk show, because it's a shopportunity. Somebody brought me this. They saw it on the freebie table, and I'm going to tell you something. We did a little game to guess what year this Joe Sanja Counted Design Book 3. It's got these geese on it. What year do you think this was published? Also, I'm going to tell you, I forgot. And I'm about to go look, but at least I know where it is this time. You guessing what year it is? I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to show the chart because I don't want you to steal it, but the charts are color and they're really well done for the 80s. You know, I've stitched some stuff from the 80s. A lot of goose patterns. 1984. 1984. So somebody brought me that. They saw it on this freebie table and grabbed it for me. It was great. So many of those people that go to the pep rally keep coming back, and so it's really lovely. This time, Stitchy Sarah, last time I handed out Zots because my friend Tammy was not there. And my friend Tammy likes to hand out Zots and go meet every single person. And for some reason, I thought I should do that. And then I felt bad this entire calendar year because Stitchy Sarah had her Zot, and she stood up and looked at me and said, "I hate you." So, to make sure she wasn't mad at me no more, I took over some gummy snacks, and I was like, these are normal candy. They don't do anything that you're unexpected. So there's that. No, anyway, I'm going to show you a couple table mates. The Arizona girls brought some delicious candy. Tammy gave us this little Georgia themed zippy pouch. It's got a little peach in there. It's got peach, and then it's got, listen, I'm gonna do a PSA, but do not go sell out all these candies. We were in a Zoom, and I think, oh, look at it, it's got cobbled peach and peach fuzz floss, Georgia playing cards, yeah, and then these peach buds. These are Butterfield candies. We were on a Zoom. I'm gonna tell you a story that you didn't ask for. Typical. We were on a Zoom a couple months ago, and Jenny from the Bougie Stitchers said, "I've been obsessed with these candies I got." And I don't know where she even got them. I don't even know what she told us. But they're like they make small batch candies the old-fashioned way. Peach buds, they're just like a little nubbin. They're not like shaped perfect like a Jolly Rancher or anything. The flavors are so amazing. Highly recommend. I'll read you the back. It's 1924. In a small North Carolina town, 3 candy makers stir big copper pots to cook up mouth-watering morsels prized across a dozen counties. Today, almost 100 years later, Butterfield still cooks candies in the same copper kettles, the same family recipes, and the same treasured results. So this listen, I'm going to tell you what I love. The watermelon, yes. The peach, yes. Oh, the grape. It's like, I don't even know. It's a different grape flavor than I've ever had, and it's so good. I like the key lime. If it's a hot day and I'm sitting out on the porch or something, a key lime is so refreshing. The lemon is delicious. The cinnamon is good. The cherry, I could take it or leave it. The orange is like a Honeybell orange. That's really good too. Basically, the only flavor I don't love would be the cherry. You know. But, anyway, so we've all been obsessed with these candies. And while we were in Florida, the Christmas mix, like, oh, they have ginger. I've not tried the ginger yet. I feel like I'm forgetting one of my favorites. I'll tell you though, when I first bought these, we were all in a Zoom and we're like, what is it? What is it? And they have this tin, this really pretty trolley tin, and it was full of peaches. And then, like, you know, that's a lot of peaches. And so eventually, one night I was really bored. I feel real fat telling you this, but we own a cotton candy maker. I bought it during COVID. You know, like when people were like, you're going to have to stay in your house forever. And I was like, I want a cotton candy machine just in case we get bored. So anyway, you can crush up any candy and then put it in this. It's like a home one, or, you know, it's like nostalgic. And you can put the powdered candy in there and it makes cotton candy out of it. So one time I took a whole bunch of those peach ones and I pounded them up and then I put them in there. It was so good. It was so good. Seems like a lot of information that's very personal. Nobody needed to know, but I'll tell you something else. We've used that cotton candy. Like, it'll make like a cousin camp when I make cotton candy. Oh, and if you use Jolly Ranchers, it's the bee's knees. So anyway, so those candies, prime, perfect candy, delicious. My friend Missy, she brought a bottle of maple syrup. Actually, she had it mailed in, and then she gave us a where is it? See, I went to 2 retreats. She gave us a maple syrup floss and some Maine playing cards. And then she, is this crochet? This is crocheted, a washcloth, and I love it so much. Also, she gave us this project card. And I'm going to show you this. This is so fun. Okay, a couple months ago, I don't know when, I was playing around with ChatGPT. I was trying to figure out, like, what even is this? I'm from the 1900s. What even does this mean? And so they're like, you can have it make anything. And I was like, but like what? And so I told ChatGPT to make me a girl with glasses sitting in a garden hand sewing. And I'll put the image up right here. This is what it made for me. And I was like, oh, that's cute. I might make a project card out of that. You know, I don't think there's like trademarks on it like it would be if somebody drew me that, right? Because ChatGPT, that's the downside of all this, and for artists, right? So I told Chat, so I went through my group chat and I made one for each of us. And so Missy took that image. I said, because like, listen, if we ever Zoom with Missy and she has her blinds open, we're always worried that we'll see an animal back there. I said, make an illustration of a woman in the woods surrounded by bears, hand sewing. And it's really, I think I told it to use red hair. And so that was really fun. So she made a project card out of that. Is that fun? Oh, and so I still need to make mine. I haven't, but that's beside the point. Also, Lord only knows if there's other prizes here. I'm sure. Oh, Andrea gave us this really sweet pouch. That was really nice. And I used it for my next retreat. I stuffed it full. So then in Florida, Missy gifted, because we're, same group of people. She gifted us this hot, apple cider flavoring and then apple cider floss and some more project cards, which I thought was super smart. And I think I got another one of those project cards. Did I use that? Oh, it's right there. And then Kathy, listen, whatever people in the group chat were talking about that day or that week, that's what I asked ChatGPT. And she had just got in a video camera bird feeder. And she was like, kept telling us how many hummingbirds she'd seen and like what was going on with the squirrel who ate the cord. And so I told it to make a lady hand sewing with a cat. Surrounded by hummingbirds. Isn't that sweet? I thought that was really fun. Oh, I think that one of my friends was at the beach, and so anyway, so whatever they were doing that week, that's what I made them. And I was just bored, and then I kept going over my daily allowance, and so then I had to have Dave give me his phone to use. Anyway, so that was what Kathy gifted us at Stitch Florida, because she was there. We had to split up into 2 different big tables because there's a lot of more friends were there than they were at the pep rally, and so that was big fun. I sat at a table with Jessica Sweetwater, and she gifted us these rifle paper notebooks. I love it so much. I did not know that there was a store down there. My boys ended up coming down to Florida, which is a perk of my husband working for that airline, the budget airline he works for, because they fly to Florida all the time. So, and we can travel for free. So, I already had a hotel room. The way the schedule ended up working out with everything, I was like, we'll just come down. So they went to Top Golf. They came in on a Friday. Nate was supposed to miss one day of school, but then there was a water problem at the school and school was canceled last year when we were skipping down to Florida, and he was going to have to miss 2 days of school. I think those 2 days there was ice or something. So school was canceled. So this year he told his teacher ahead of time, he goes to the vocational high school. He told him, sir, I'm going to be missing school on Friday. And I'm sure he asked if there's a way to get ahead or whatever. And so then when school ended up being canceled because of water problems, the teacher even said on Monday, man, that happened to you again. You're the luckiest kid. You don't even miss school. So my guys ended up coming down on Friday, which was lovely because I hadn't seen them in a while. In between the pep rally and Florida, my little friend group, we went up to northern Michigan. We rented a house on Lake Huron. And it was beautiful. I'll put a little video right here. And then we went up and spent the day up in Mackinac Island. I hadn't been there since we moved back to Michigan, I think. And those women had not been at all. So it was a lovely little trip, lovely little day trip. We got some fudge. We saw a lot of stuff. We took the tour. I had never been on a tour. I was telling them, I don't think we've ever shelled out the money to go on a tour. But anyway, it was worth every penny. It was amazing. And we had great weather, and it was just a wonderful in-between trip. And then we went back down to Detroit, flew out of Detroit down to Florida. Just in case you need to know every single thing. Anyway, so in Florida, I had not seen the boys in a while, so they came. Well, actually, I had, because they came and brought Missy's box, which arrived. Anyway, I missed them. That's what I'm saying. I had missed them. They came down to Florida. They went to Top Golf the day that they got in at 6. They went to Top Golf, and the next day they went to Universal Studios and rode rides. And then we flew in on Sunday. So my mom watched the house. It was very wonderful. Very wonderful. But in Florida, my table mates were Jessica Sweetwater. Andrea gave us a gift certificate to one of the shops in the shopping, which was always a fun prize. And Beth gave us these little pouches, and Stephanie, the New England Stitcher, made these, and they're so cute. Little zippy pouch, and it had a whole bunch of stuff in it, and pony needles, some magnets, some Advil. So, amazing. There's a little nail file and some scissors. So cute. Such a cute idea for a gift. So cute. Hold on, let me see if I can get back in there. I thought that was so cute. And, Jessica gave us that rival. And look at these little pumpkins. I don't know where she got them. I hope maybe she'll talk about them on her Flosstube someday. But they're super cute felted pumpkins. Super cute. Can't wait to put those out. In the there's a whole bunch of stuff. Can we just say there was so much stuff. So much stuff. But our kit that we got, or our welcome bag, came with some patterns. This is Chrissy Finally Farm Girls pattern, Stitch, Florida, and some pins. I thought those are cute. What else was in there? I feel like there was a tiny orange thing from Deb. What else was there? Oh, I also sat with Annie, the Proper Stitcher. She gave us a little bag with chocolates in it from where she lives. And then also there was a thread bed, which I loved and used. Oh, Deb Pryor sat at our cul-de-sac table, and she handed us out these little strawberries. Aren't they cute? So pretty. Love that. Love that. I went over shopping. Jenny from the Cross Stitch Emporium, she was there selling, and I bought some fun things from Siggy's Closet. Is there another one? Listen, I have been, when I was kitting things up, I noticed I didn't have very many fall themed ones. I'm sure there was other stuff. One woman walked around and handed out these little prayer quilts, and on the back it has this little poem. It's super sweet. It says, I'm a little prayer quilt to hold in your hand to help when trouble arises, those you did not plan. When your fingers touch the cross tucked inside, you can feel there's a little wooden cross or a little cross. Maybe it's plastic. Remember that God is always by your side. Hold me tight in your hand if it helps calm your fears, and don't be afraid to use me to wipe away your tears. That's super sweet. Super sweet. I thought that was lovely. Lovely. I got this off the freebie table, and I sure did like that. Pansy Patch Quilts. Peace Winter at Pansy Patch Manor. Pansy Patch Manor. Love that. There's the pattern. The proper stitcher. Oh, this must have been in our pies. Hold on, it's in my stack. Oh, here it is. Here it is. This was the pattern that was included in our little kit. It came in a bag. Where is the bag? It's in this stuff. But I also went to the Proper Stitchers table and I bought some patterns that I had not seen. Also, do you know that I have not been on social media since the end of June? And so some things were new information for me because I was not on the socials to see people's updated stuff. And I'm very behind on Flosstube. This was not brand new, but I bought it at Jenny's Cross Stitch Emporium. She calls it a shop in a box. She brought a whole bunch of stuff down. I ended up going and buying floss for the patterns that were given to us. I bought those little Siggy's Closet thingies. Bought the pattern. I bought 2 patterns. This one, Manor at Swan Lake. Oh, I love it so much. And then these I bought from Annie. Oh, I love vintage antique bird cross stitches and embroidery, and I covet them so much. I'm waiting to find like the perfect trio someday, the right estate sale, the right yard sale even, and so I might just stitch that and start my own. Hopefully she has more. And I got these 2. He saves me and trust in him. I got these 2. Love them both. Love them both. There was, oh, Christy Finally Farm Girl was there, and I ended up buying this. This is a big, big cross stitch. She had so many beautiful models with her. Ugh. Gosh. Also, there was a woman there. Her shop, I can't recall. She had a shop, and then she said she closed it, but she's still designing. Hold on, it's not her fabric, because I bought 2 pieces of fabric from her. Victorian Rose Needle Arts. This is Bee's Knees. What is this? 32 count. It's really pretty. Very pretty. And then this was in her basket, and I said, what is this? And she said she dyed it and she would make me a deal. So she gave me a good deal on this giant piece of fabric. And I think it's 32 count. I better write that down before I forget. Because you know, in a matter of weeks, it'll be long gone out of my brain. So, I said, well, what's it called? I can't stitch it if it doesn't have a name. Which is funny, because I never know the name of the fabric I'm stitching on because I've lost the tags. She said, how about we name it Papyrus? And it was 20 bucks. I bought it. So that was a great deal. She also had this Blackbird in her. She had like a bin of random patterns, it seemed. Perhaps they weren't random. Perhaps I just wasn't paying attention. I got that. And got some. Did this come in our kit? No, I must have bought this. Dames of the Needle crinkle ribbon. And, oh, from Deb, I bought an orange. I think I bought another thing. Oh, I bought a keeper. Where's that at? Heck. We'll stop this whole entire video if I can't find that. I've got to show you that. It is so cool. Also, wait a minute. I gotta dig through. What the heck, Teresa? Ugh. I did buy this from Farmhouse Needleworks. She was there, and I love these little keepers. I love keeping. They fit in my purse. I love keeping like my little Country Cottage Needleworks. So I keep this guy. Oh, there was a fall. So I have a Christmas one. I have a summery one. I have this one, which I've had forever. And then I wanted one that was autumnal. So I bought one that was fall-esque. Things just went flying. Also, oh, I bought this too. Oh. And, I feel like I bought more. I have to tell you about something. Is anybody really worried about where my brand new keeper is? Where did I put that? Okay, on the second day, Lisa from Handcrafted by Harvey came and found me, and she said, listen, I made you this. And she took it to Stitch New England, and then I wasn't there because we had to do chicken processing. And so she'd saved it this whole year until she saw me again, and she gave me this bag. It is so amazing. I thought that was so kind of her, and this fabric is so beautiful. So beautiful. That was just so kind. Love her. Made me a little teary. I'm sure I'm going to have to find that keeper. Also, at Jenny's shop, I got this. This is Cedar River Linen Arboreal. Got a lot of them. 18 count. And I got it because I was buying this pattern, a daily reminder. And I think this is the call for. It is. I know that this is on 36 count, and so I wonder if there's 1/1. I think there is. And I'll have to fudge something. I'll just use straight stitches again, like I did on my grandma's sampler. The sampler I put my grandma's name in. Here is the keeper that I got from Deb Pryor. It is so cool. It's got Tula Pink fabric. Love it. Her quality is amazing. She hand stitches these clothes, and I did not realize that. And I'm going to tell you, I went and looked, and her stitches are perfect. Perfect. Okay. Also, my regular life, I did get my Sweet Wing September. I think my October is on its way. Do you know I've been getting these every month, and I haven't been showing you every month, but that one sure is cute, Susan. Ugh, I love it. Love it. I mean, I liked all of them, but I also, I'm going to tell you something. I got this Como Stitches bag the day before, like a couple days before. No, I think I went while I was on my trip. And this one was still in the cart. Maybe it was Saturday at the pep rally. I went and looked, and this one was still in her shop, and so I bought it. I love this size, the mini size. And before I had left, I had ordered this fabric bundle. I've already ripped into it, so it doesn't look pretty anymore. It is so pretty. It's the Merry Little Christmas. Hold on. So pretty. Because I have not been on the socials, I rely on my friends sending me very cute things that I must have. Look at that little goose and the pig. And in this fabric, this is so pretty. Tilda. Merry Little Christmas Life. This is Winter Friends Duck Egg. Oh, that's cute. Okay, so this print, my friend sent this, and that goose, I need that fabric. I think that I will make myself a patchwork project keeper or a bag, project bag, and I got a bundle, so I have enough to make one. Oh, can I tell you about one other fun thing? While we were at the retreat, Jessica and Beth were going to Needle Orts, which is the shop that's not too far from where Stitch Florida was held. And they were going, and they asked, do you need anything? And I didn't want to go, probably because I spent a lot of shopping money on all the other stuff. But I didn't want to go, but for some reason I said, no, just pick me out something. So I gave her $20 and I said, just find me something fun that you think I need to have. And she hated it. I think Beth really hated it. I don't know. It seems like it would be fun to just do personal shopping. But a whole bunch of us gave her just a little bit of money, and she came back with this really fun floss drop thingy. Also, it's a corner gauge, but oh, it does have markings on it. I was just thinking it just had those loops, but they're right. It is a corner gauge. I should read. Retromantic. I can't say that word. Fripperies? What word is that? What word even is that? And then she gave me this little tiny goose thread keep to stitch on. So I love that. So that is all. It's enough, isn't it? If you're still here. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. I met a whole bunch of people that watched this channel when I was at Stitch, Florida and at the pep rally, and everyone was so, so kind to me. Said wonderful things. Truly, I just appreciate all of you for being so wonderful to me. Every time I hear people being unkind in comment sections, I just think, everyone has been so kind to me, and I appreciate every single one of you. Truly. It really still just humbles me that you want to come and listen to me talk about how I don't know what fabric I'm stitching on, I don't know the date, and possibly just going to talk about weird stuff happening in my yard. But I really do appreciate all of you, and I just, anyway. So, I don't think that I'll be delayed. I'm kind of back in the swing of things. I don't have another retreat. You know, I was registered for Dying to Stitch, but I ended up canceling it. Probably going to be something I regret the rest of my life. Because I love Brenda Gervais so much. But, anyway, but I do have Stitching in the Smokies in November, and I'm excited about that. So, but for the foreseeable future, things seem calm around here. We're in a routine of school. Fall hockey's easy peasy. There's just basically practices, skating and weightlifting. And he gets to drive himself. So I'm basically not needed by anyone ever. Just sit here by myself. Talking to my friends on the TV. Anyway. So I think I'll check in maybe 3 weeks. Hopefully I'll be stitching. The garden is pretty much done. It's ready to be put to bed. There's still a lot of flowers going, and that's wonderful. I have carrots I need to harvest. Potatoes need to be dug up still. This week is supposed to be like a new June. Like it's high 70s all week. So that's kind of nice. But we do need to go dig up our potatoes. I should pull up my carrots. I know there's green peppers I need to go grab. And I like to dice them up and freeze them for omelets and different soups and stuff like that. Sauces. So I'll do that. And otherwise, my gardening tasks seem to be waning in my time restraints on that. And I find myself at home alone a lot because, well, Dave might be here sleeping usually, but pretty much just by myself all the time now. I should get more stitching done, but I've been managing my responsibilities a little bit better, so there's that. Listen, I'll catch up with you next month. Hopefully you've had a wonderful summer. I'm ready for fall. The leaves are falling here, even though it's been quite warm. And I feel like that fall always makes me kind of melancholy because I love summer so much. But it also just signals a really good slowdown and a rest for me. And I hope that you feel the same. And anyway, I just appreciate all of you. And happy stitching, friends. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.